We knew we had to bring the same level of clarity to pandemic news as we had to other stories, and that we had to make sense of a seemingly incomprehensible news event for our audience. Rightly or wrongly, the pandemic forced everyone, regardless of their age, socioeconomic status, race, or religion, to pay attention to the news. Suddenly, news outlets had the answers about where you could go, who you could see, and what you could do. The exponential growth of our audience was a huge responsibility that we didn't take lightly. We wanted to get it right for them, keep them informed with the facts, but also identify when something was noise and not news. It was about towing the line between informing and overwhelming, and it relied on us listening and responding to our audience. Today, that audience has grown considerably, with the Daily Aus reaching over 1 million young Australians every month. We have a daily podcast, newsletter, TikTok, video channel, website, and now a book. Our intention for this book is for it to be the world's best cheat sheet for understanding how the world works. Think of it like a friend in your pocket that you can whip out to explain all the big concepts in life, but in a way that makes sense to you. One challenge with writing the book is the ever-changing nature of news. We know how fast things move, from changes in government and regimes around the world to understanding pandemics, science, and technology. We've tried to include explainers that will stay relevant and to which you can refer when you need to brush up on a topic. Part of the problem, and therefore part of the reason we wanted to write this book, is that most of us weren't really taught a lot of this stuff growing up. Unless you took an economics subject at high school or university, it's not easy to understand superannuation, tax, GST, inflation, GDP, interest rates, tariffs, or currencies. That's not your fault. But it's a problem that can be fixed by taking time to read explainers on the big questions you might feel silly asking or don't even know how to go about asking. So, we hope you can use this book when you're reading a news story about climate change, politics, technology, war, or money. Keep it handy and come back to a specific chapter when you need to. For now, make yourself a cup of tea, find yourself a sunny spot. Let's get into all your questions, even the ones you might think are silly. 1. Our political system. Why should I care about our political system? We're kicking off with politics. There are lots of good reasons to care about politics. The decisions made by politicians have enormous implications for our quality of life today. They also shape the world of tomorrow. And just as it's your quality of life on the line, it's also your money. If you earn money in Australia and therefore pay tax, your tax dollars pay for the policies announced in Canberra, not to mention the salary of the politicians announcing them. But for us, the biggest reason you should care about politics can be summed up in one word: privilege. It's a privilege to live in a country that has free, democratic elections. It's a privilege to feel safe when voting. It's a privilege to have access to independent media reporting on politics. There are millions of people around the world who don't have these privileges, and they shouldn't be taken for granted. Politics can be tricky to follow. It's fast-paced, and political reporting often relies on the consumer having a lot of assumed knowledge. That is exactly what we want to avoid. We're here to demystify politics for you so that next time you're reading news about a leadership spill, a ministerial appointment, or a new policy, you'll understand the full picture. That's vital when you think about who our politicians and political processes are created to serve. You. Politicians are elected to represent the interests of all Australians every single day. Following politics is how you can try to ensure they do that job well. Our hope with this chapter is that if you've said things in the past like, "Politics doesn't matter to me," or "It makes no difference to my life what politicians do," you'll realise the opposite is in fact true. Politics touches all of us, and the more you know, the more power you have. Before we jump into it, though, a quick note. There are 3 levels of government in Australia: local, state, and federal. In this chapter, we're focusing on making sense of the federal political system. That's because it's nationally consistent, meaning whether you're